This video is really the real story of my first 5 weeks abroad, traveling solo. The first 3 weeks were on a cruise, crossing the South Pacific on a repositioning cruise, visiting 5 countries, in addition to 2 more weeks in Sydney and Melbourne in Australia. I'll share the highlights, the hard parts, and what I really learned about myself the first 5 weeks. Hi, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Valerie. I'm 62 years old, and a few months ago I quit my full-time career because I really needed to feel like I was living my life again, to find adventure and connection to life again. So I started this journey to travel solo around the world. So welcome. Making the decision to quit my job at 62 was not easy. I felt like if I didn't do it now, I might never do it. So I booked a 3-week trip on a cruise across the South Pacific. When that cruise ship was leaving, I was so excited, but I also felt the fear bubbling up in me. What have I just done? I think that's a normal feeling that you really have to work through, and I had 3 weeks to do it. On this 3-week cruise, our first port was Honolulu, Hawaii. I took my first solo excursion at that port. I got to enjoy local food, and I really enjoyed walking the beaches for the first time. The second port was Kona, and I got to really walk the seawall and have lunch at one of the local restaurants. There are approximately 40 restaurants within walking distance in Kona, and there's lots of shops to explore along the way. Our second country was Samoa. It's a little port in the South Pacific, and I really just enjoyed walking through the little town in the area. Our third country was Fiji. We stopped at 3 different islands in Fiji, which was amazing because they were all so different. One of my favorites was Vita. I signed up for a group tour. There was about 40 of us that went to a natural spring on the island. It really made me realize that I can make friends no matter where I am, no matter what age I am. So it really opened me up to speaking to more and more people along the way. In New Caledonia, one of the ports that I was super excited about, I probably had my worst day of the whole cruise. Not only did I come back to my room to find out that my excursion had been canceled, it rained the entire day. And it helped me realize that even a small excursion that gets canceled can easily be replaced. You just have to be open to change. That night, instead of being lonely in my room, I actually booked a table at the restaurant that night and had an amazing dinner and met so many new friends that I still to this day have kept in touch with. But I learned to take in the small moments throughout the day. My coffee being delivered every morning and watching the waves from my balcony, or just starting new conversations from people that I met throughout the day. Just taking in a minute to enjoy the fresh air from the deck. When you have so many sea days, which personally I love them, just know when you are crossing the South Pacific from Seattle to Hawaii, you are going to have several rough sea days. The ship did offer many activities, games, movies, just get-togethers throughout the day. So you could fill your day with many activities, or you could have very quiet, slow days where you just enjoyed the many decks that was on the ship. Not only on this trip did I get to cross the equator, I also got to cross the international date line on my birthday. Which, how many people get to say that in their lifetime? After 3 weeks at sea, We finally reached Sydney early in the morning. Coming into that port was breathtaking. But Sydney was a city that I had always dreamed of visiting. So my next 2 weeks was exploring Sydney and Melbourne. My first couple of days in Sydney were really a little overwhelming. I had to figure out now where to go eat, how to get around, and just really finding my way on my own. I didn't have a cruise schedule anymore. My first full day in Sydney I spent at the zoo, and I can tell you it was one of the days I actually felt quite lonely. When you do have days like this, you can always pick up the phone and call someone that's dear to you. They're going to help you see that no matter where you are or what you're doing, you always have someone you can call. On other days, I walked the harbor, I visited the opera house, and one day I actually got lost just walking through the city. Pro tip, always download a city map that you're visiting offline and mark the hotel, the address, and all the different sites that you plan to see. It will really keep you from panicking in those moments. One of the highlights of staying in Sydney is I stayed at the Park Hyatt right on the harbor. Stay tuned because in the coming weeks, you're going to see my review of the Park Hyatt. One day, spur of the moment, I flew to Melbourne. What an artsy, alive, full of surprises city. From little cafes to super busy markets. It actually gave me the chance to explore Melbourne to see if that I wanted to come back and revisit on a longer stay. I really started to slow down traveling, realizing that I don't have to see everything and really rush around seeing things one after the other. Solo travel isn't about being lonely. It's about showing up one day at a time. The hardest moments are when you're tired, lost, or just can't make a decision about what's next. But those are really the moments that teach you the most. I don't have it all figured out yet, but I already feel more connected, more in the moment, and living life again than I have in years. Becoming a widow early at 58 wasn't easy, but traveling has taught me that I still have more life to live. Thanks for sharing with me my first 5 weeks abroad. Next week, I'm going to talk about how in the world do you sit down and plan a budget for full-time travel when you're solo. Just remember, it's never too late to start living the life you want. And it's certainly never too late, and you're not too old to make a bold change in your life. If you'd like to know about the beginning of my journey, you can watch the first video that I posted in this new channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you'll know when I post a new video. My plan is to post a new video every Thursday.